others. Anyhow, I think this will be a good platform for each one of us to discuss some of the issues and some of the things which are related to education, especially which are related to teaching of English. So, before entering into our topic, I would like to have some sort of introduction from your part, but I don't think that we haven't got much time to spend on this, and we will do introduction and doing an activity together. So here is the first simple task for you. Don't consider this as a heavy one, because this is meant only to brush up our knowledge, or brush up our memory about teaching of English, especially about this present paradigm. So here we go. Here are some sentences for you, and what you have to do is just look at these sentences and find out how many of them are true. For that, you can use your chat box. You don't need to open your mic and make some chaos among us with your sound. So here are the sentences for you. I'm going to present it for you. Just go through these sentences, and what you have to do is just find the correct statements and put the number in the chat box. That's all. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you. Can you see this? Anybody, please? Okay, here are 8 sentences for you, 8 statements for you, and these statements are I think will not be new to you, because we have been dealing with English teaching pedagogy for the last few years, especially the present one that we are dealing with. So the sentences are, you can read it on your screen. The first one goes like this: language acquisition begins at the time of birth. When does actually the language acquisition begins? Whether it is in the time of birth, or it is from the classroom, or from after 3 or 4 years, or from the womb of the baby's mother itself, or from our previous life, if such a thing is there. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Okay, that is the first statement. If you find that this statement is quite good, quite true, you can put this number on the chat box. Not individual numbers. You can find all. You can read all these statements together and pick the correct statements and put the numbers together in the chat box. Okay. The second one goes like this: learning a language supplements the learning of another language. Learning a language helps the learning of another language. And that is sentence number 2. And number 3 says all languages have some common elements of grammar. All languages have some common elements of grammar. Number 4, every child has an innate capacity to learn language. Every child has an innate capacity to learn language. Innate capacity, inborn capacity, or a mechanism which is inbuilt within a child. It is there in every child for learning any language. Number 5, e-language and I-language are the 2 important components of language communication. I think you are all familiar with these terms. E-language, it is external language, and I-language, it is internal language. So these two things are important for language communication. And number 6, in the early stages of language acquisition, accuracy is more important than fluency. Which is more important, whether it is accuracy or fluency, especially in the early stages of language acquisition? Should we use accurate language in the early stages of language acquisition, or should we focus on the fluency of the students to produce language? That's what statement number 6 is meant. Number 7, we should correct the mistakes of the students strictly every now and then. Should correct the mistakes in the sense mistakes on language production, mistakes on language communication. We should correct the mistakes of the students strictly every now and then. That is what statement number 7 tells us. Number 8 goes like this: communication takes place only in a meaningful context. So here we go. Your time starts now. You can start putting your numbers on the chat box. Just type your numbers. Type only the correct numbers of the correct statements, right? No, only the number of the statement, not a sort. If the first one is correct, you can put 1. If it is not correct, you can move on to 2. Just avoid number 1. So here comes first answer from Nuhud. I don't know whether I am pronouncing the word. Okay. Anoop says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are correct. Joy, sirs. Okay, Fida. Okay, sir. Thank you. Jayalekha says 1, 2, 3, 4 are correct. Bushra says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are correct. Srilata goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How many participants are there? Okay, 28 are logged in. How many are we expecting, sir? Joy, sir? $50. Okay. Okay. Okay, the answers are pouring in. Communication takes place only in a meaningful context. That is the 8th one. Yeah. So let's look at the answer. So we don't need to spend much time on this, because this is meant only for brushing up our memory. And what about starting with Jayalekha, ma'am? Ma'am, are you there, Jayalekha? Jayalekha, ma'am. Okay. And tell me your answer, please. Once more, your numbers, please. Tell me your answers. I cannot see your answer now on the chat screen. It's disappearing. You said number 1 is correct, right? Okay, let's stick on there. Okay, you said number 1 is correct, right? No, wait, sir. Wait, ma'am. I'm asking about number 1. Okay? I am asking to Jayalekha, ma'am. Okay, Jayalekha ma'am, are you there? I am talking about question number 1, statement number 1. Language acquisition begins at the time of birth. You said it is true, right? Okay, and many of the participants have the opinion that statement number 1 is correct. So let me ask you a question. Whether a babe, a fetus or a fetus in the womb of a mother has nothing to do with acquiring something? Nowadays, in the Anganwadis and Balawadis, we are giving classes to pregnant women in the surrounding areas. Is there any particular aim for that? Especially inviting all the pregnant women in that area and giving them some classes and supplying some nutritious food, etc. Government is focusing on those things these days. And let me remind you a story. You might have heard about this story about Sri Krishna and Rukmini, his sister. Rukmini. Wait, ma'am. Let me complete this. Wait. I will come to you. Sri Krishna was telling a story to Rukmini, and Rukmini was listening to the story and was supporting Krishna in by giving him a yes or a nod, like hum or something like that. And when time goes on, Sri Krishna found that there is a change in the sound, and when he looked keenly, he understood that it was not Rukmini that supporting him, but the baby in her womb is supporting him. That is, Abhimanyu is supporting him. Have you heard this story? Jayalekha ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, are you? You want to make any correction in your answer? Yes, that is what we meant, and so number 1 can be avoided. It can be corrected as language acquisition begins from the womb itself. Let us be politically correct on that. Number 2 says learning a language supplements the learning of another language. Will that be true? I would like to call the name of Gina ma'am. What's your opinion? Come on. You said it's true. Learning a language will supplement the learning of another language. Okay, that's why we teach our children 1 or more, or 2 or more languages in the beginning, in the first standard itself. In the earlier years, English has been taught. English was taught in the 4th standard or 5th standard. I think that in my school days, I started learning English only in the 4th or 5th standard. There was a textbook for that. But nowadays we are teaching our kids English in the very beginning, that is in the first standard itself. So linguists have this opinion that, or educationalists have this opinion that learning a language will supplement, help learning of another language. This is because of the 3rd statement. So the 3rd statement also has some connection with statement number 2. So what is your opinion about statement number 3? I may ask this, pardon? Okay, so Bushra ma'am, can you say something about statement number 3? Is it true or false? Mr. Ramam, are you there? I think, okay, it's true. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, all languages have some common elements of grammar. We are well aware of the universal grammar theory by Chomsky, and it says that there are many common elements of grammar in languages. So number 3 is true. And what about number 4? Every child has an innate capacity to learn a language. And Anup sir, are you there? Okay, can you say something about number 4? Is it every child? Okay, sir. Every child has an innate capacity, inborn capacity to learn language. There is a faculty for every child to learn any language, whether this is true or false. Okay, yes. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, it is a true statement. And about number 5, e-language and I-language. Let me ask this question to my teacher. Ma'am, are you there? Okay, come on. Yeah. Okay, so statement number 5 is true. Okay, right, you're right. Number 6. In the early stages of a language acquisition, accuracy is more important than fluency. Accuracy is more important than fluency in the early stages of language acquisition. Parvati ma'am, are you there? Can you comment on that statement? Okay, what do you feel about it? Statement number 5. Is it true or false? Number 6. In the early stages of language acquisition, accuracy is more important than fluency. Pardon? Yeah,